Hello, my name is Juan. I am Susan's husband, and we are today in her studio. We are going to do something a little bit different. The last few videos, obviously, it's all been her work. Today, it's going to be my work. I'm more of a beginner with watercolors, and that's what we're doing today. I've been doing ink and pencil quite a few years, not very disciplined in actually doing it because in my training back in the day when I was still in college, uh, we that's what we did almost exclusively, except for our art elective classes where we would try to discover other mediums and at the same time try to experiment with them. So in that kind of spirit, today's drawing or sketch in my sketchbook is just that: ink, waterproof ink, and watercolors. Yesterday, Susan gave me a crash course in color theory that I've forgotten a lot about. Luckily, she was able there to kind of guide me through the basics, and some of the stuff started coming back, which is nice. I got my little color wheel out, and it is a very helpful tool. Don't have to follow it strictly, but it did refresh my memory as to if I want this color and I have that color, what other color do I need to mix with it, right? And with that, you just experiment and try things until you get more or less what you're going for. So that was very helpful. There's different folks that I follow on YouTube, different channels that I really enjoy. There's one which I took inspiration from today. Her name is Jilly Arts, and she does these kind of loose watercolors and ink, which really kind of call my attention every time I see them. And they seem rather easy to do until you start doing them, and then you start seeing that, well, there's a challenge to it, obviously, and it's going to be a while before I get comfortable just doing kind of what I'm trying to do, which is one of my passions is e-bikes. I like cycling. I graduated to e-bikes when the years started coming on and my back started giving me problems, and I started realizing that, hey, you know what, maybe I need some assistance in order to get out there and get a little bit further and spend more time riding and not come back so exhausted. So my idea was, hey, I can use my e-bike that I have. I have a couple, and there's different areas here in town that have beautiful buildings, standalone buildings that I tend to like. I'll probably start doing details of buildings too, especially in our downtown here in San Antonio, Texas, and do some of those details. But let's just start with something that in a more controlled environment, which is in the studio. And that's what I did today. Okay, I'll share that in our coming video, and I hope you like it. Hopefully you can come along this journey with me, and if you've been dabbling, thinking, you're a beginner and you're a little unsure as how to get started, well, you can come along on this trip with me on this path, because there are a lot of things that I'm learning about. I've forgotten the names of colors. I've forgotten the different line weights. Of course, I don't use in my. Like I said, I have a full-time job. I'm an IT person, so I live in a digital world, and this is going into a non-digital world, which is really rather satisfying. It's so different from what I do on a daily basis, right? But I enjoy the aspect of putting ink to paper, feeling that paper, throwing my paint, my watercolor paint with a brush, depending on the brush that I'm using, how much water, etc. It's really kind of neat the way the end result is. And just to illustrate, this is kind of what we did this time, right? And you'll see in the video how I put it together and how it all came out in the end. Probably a better representation in the video, but it was challenging, difficult at first, but it kind of came out interesting enough that I say, hey, you know what, I want to continue, and I want to try getting better or improving, or just being looser with it too. You know, it doesn't always have to be ink; it could also be pencil, and I can work either with gouache or combination of gouache and watercolor. So there's just a lot of possibilities and a lot of things that now I see why Susan has developed such a passion for it. Right? She's always been very passionate about her art. I think this time, me joining in that journey is going to make things fun because we're actually sharing something together. So the idea in the future, maybe not too distant future, is that we'll buy her an e-bike as well. And there's one thing I know a lot here in town from doing it for so many years is our trail system is really awesome. And we go through different parks and stuff. So we're planning to take our bikes, put in our supplies in our bags, little panniers, and throw caution to the wind and just ride out to these different areas. And when the mood strikes, we'll stop and say, hey, let's do some plein air painting, pull out our watercolors and just kind of capture this right here. And I think it'll be a fun adventure for both of us. She can share in my joy and passion for cycling on e-bikes, and I'm sharing in her passion for painting and experimenting. So hopefully we can bring you a lot. We can bring you all along, and you can learn maybe some things and how we do them. And in your comments, maybe you guys can tell us, hey, suggestions. Maybe you'd like to see you guys go here or go there or do this or use the other in order to make the sketches more interesting. And so far, I really enjoy the idea of a sketchbook because you can really experiment with just different ideas and different thoughts in how to put them down on paper. Okay, well, with that, just please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep growing. We just started recently, so we don't have a lot of videos yet, but we're uploading a video a week, and maybe with a little bit more practice and carving out a little bit of time from work, we can throw in a short video during the week if we find something specifically interesting, or videos can be longer if we think that, hey, maybe instruction is called for here. So with that, thank you again. Glad you made it to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.